Okay, this is supposed to be an episode of On the Dark Side. So we're going to get right into it. The first, we're doing black hats as the dark side. This is steel chainsaws. Steel says, in the wintertime, we probably make snow blowers. This one says, do you got it, mate? It's the thunder down under. This hat says, yeah, it's Ludwig of Bavaria, and I just want to remind you, don't blame us for Davos and Agenda 2030. Don't blame us about nothing. People to blame about all the economic problems about to befall the world are known as the Jeffersons. The Jeffersons, the TV show. Yeah, that was right. Right. Oh, bloody hell. No, it was the Jeffersons. It was the Jeffersons. The Jeffersons were, they were never going to be able to explain to other people how you get thought transmissions. This one is also going to tell. It's Ludwig again. Okay, so we play a game we call You to see what you get when you hear a little gap in like conversation where maybe one of us we're going to speak, but instead it's going to be like on purpose blank. Maybe for like 5, 15 seconds. And in that meantime, your inner voice is going to give you what you get. Okay, this is another black hat from the dark side, and it wants to remind you of the black cat. Now, I remember when I was a kid, I could get two black cat bubble gums, two bubble gums for a penny. A penny is 1 cent, 1 Canadian cent. Now, to get one bubble gum, I don't even know. I never even see those offers anymore. You used to go in every corner store, and there they were. But, how much is a pack of gum these days? I don't know. This has not been a good one because I don't have facts for you. Okay, news from the bar. We want to tell you that if you do ever get back to a bar, that we did look to see if we could get seasonal beer. We wanted Bock beer, B-O-C-K beer, because many years ago, Molson Canada made Bock beer and put it out for Oktoberfest in October. There were no specialty beers at the bar, and, you know, why can't we have like specialty beers anymore? Like, what happened to Molson? I'll tell you what happened to Molson. Molson and Labatt split the Canadian marketplace into two breweries. And each brewery had a full line of products. That is every kind of beer, every kind of ale, and then odd things for North America, like maybe they would have a stout or, the whole thing was that they would, you could buy every kind of beer that you could possibly imagine from just one of those breweries, but there was two. So you always had a choice. So, in the 1970s, your choice, primarily, if you're going to have leading brand, would be Molson Canadian or Labatt Blue. Those would be the two number one selling beers in Canada in the 1970s, and they fought through advertising as much as they could, and then gradually the government encroached and stopped them from doing as good advertising as they used to. Well, it was just they had this song, it was the Fifth Dimension, called Up, Up and Away. In my beautiful balloon. And Labatt's took that commercial and they showed people ballooning. And, well, then they were selling Labatt's beer, and the government said, look, you can't film this. It was a beautiful commercial, beautiful music. It was cool. It was like, oh, this is like, I like Labatt Blue. I want to try Labatt Blue. I like this blue lifestyle. And the government says, we don't want people drinking while they are flying balloons. So we're not going to let you have open beer cans in the car, and we're not going to let you have bottles of beer in your wicker basket hanging from your balloons. Clearly, you can't do this. So they took these really cute commercials off the air, and they'll never be there again. So it just doesn't matter how creative you are. Some of these things have been forbidden because government regulators figure that we're too stupid to figure it out on our own. Yeah, it's Ludwig in Germany. We don't know because I'm not in Germany right now. I'm not there, and I have to drink like world beers. Do you know what world beers are? World beers are like Budweiser. Tuborg, Pilsener Urquell, maybe not as much as some other ones, but what other ones? Someone wants to remind. I'm sorry. Do you want to continue with beers? Yeah, in Germany, we don't want to talk about cheers anymore. We're going to get involved with cabaret. We're going to have like cabarets again. The cabarets are simply nightclubs where there's like shows. So you go there to watch a show, and the show is quite informal. It might be even on the dance floor of the bar. And, your actors might sing, they might dance, they might lip sync, or they might be mingling amongst the crowd, getting the crowd all excited. Like maybe somebody is going around with a tray of Milky Way bars, chocolate bars, and they're just there for you to try for free. And they have little toothpicks in them. I don't know, like it would look better. Like in the 1970s, you could just cut the Milky Way into bite-sized pieces and then put them on a tray, a silver tray with, you put some wax paper down and then put the pieces of the chocolate bar. And then you could have already stuck each of the chocolate things with a toothpick, and then you could pick up and eat it. But these days, things are so regulated that you couldn't offer people non-wrapped foods because of the Rona. You can't have like food just traveling around through a place for you to sample. I don't think so. I don't think even if you covered it, put a cover over the tray and then go from, I don't think so. Why don't I think so? I just have the feeling that, some people are following these social distancing laws so much that a lot of the things that used to be normal for humans to do are totally taboo nowadays. I think soon it's going to be taboo for you to use the same air as other people. So they're going to turn off the air, and you're going to have to start purchasing air that comes to you via a pipeline. So they can meter it because they're going to want to charge you. So there'll be a big air plant where all the air from the atmosphere is sucked for free, and then it goes in and it's going to be put into a pipeline and pipeline to your place, and they're going to put a dome over your estate, and you're going to have to buy air because it's going to be illegal to take the air that's right beyond your dome because that belongs to World Heritage Site, and you can't use that air. So maybe they're going to manufacture air. They're going to get hydrogen and oxygen, and they're going to burn air with, I don't know. I'm having a hard time figuring that one out. Okay, on the dark side, we don't want to tell you that down under, we are not looking on the dark side any longer. We have decided to declare summer has begun. which means you poor blokes way up in Canada are looking at winter has begun. It sucks to be you. Or it's me, it's Jimmy. I'm Jimmy, and I come from a long while when I was out looking around for General, not Custer, General Montgomery. Now, it wasn't a general, army general. It was more of a general who was like not a gentleman, a gentle. No. You're wondering what happened to Vasily Fisk. That's Fisk, Vasily Fisk, the metaphysical detective from Carnaby Street in London, UK, who has a partner who lives in Macau, China, Andrew Chernenko. And the two of them are actually Australia emigres. In other words, they left Australia to live somewhere else because they're sick of being the same as everybody else. The problem is in any of these where you have one language, one culture, a monoculture on your country. You get sick of the same people because they're all cookie cutter. So if you live in Canada, it's a monoculture. The same things go on in Toronto that go on in Vancouver and all the places in between. They're all the same. They all speak the same. They sound the same. Like, seriously, they totally sound the same. The dialect is the same. It's an enormous geographical area where only one dialect is spoken. It's the Western Canadian dialect, and I'm speaking it right now. So I could speak this dialect in Toronto or Vancouver, which are now if you go into Ottawa, Montreal, then you have a different dialect. What's the dialect? It's called French. Quebecois is the dialect of Quebec province, but within Quebec province there are actual dialects there. So someone from Rimouski would have a different dialect than somebody from well, we could go to the province next door, New Brunswick. Somebody from New Brunswick, because New Brunswick is also about 50% French, is what we used to be told back when they used to lie without telling us that they didn't really know what percentage of the population was French in New Brunswick because they'd never been there. But they got it out of a textbook, and it said about 50%. The other famous dialects are Eastern Atlantic dialects of English. The Easterners, the maritime provinces, sometimes it's called Atlantic provinces, they have a different Canadian English dialect than the Western Canadians. They're small in population, but the dialect changes quite a bit in these places. So a Halifax Canadian English dialect is going to sound different than somebody from St. John's, Newfoundland. We were talking about Vasily Fisk and his partner Andrew Chernenko, the Australians. Now, an Australian accent can often be confused with a New Zealand accent, but they're not the same dialect. Do all Aussies speak the same dialect? No. No, they don't. But it's not, at least as far as I could tell, it wasn't based upon which city in Australia they lived in. I mean, possibly there's different dialects between Brisbane and Sydney or something. I don't know. I never picked up on that, though, the city dialects. But in Northern Territory, maybe it was more like Crocodile Dundee. But it was... Anyway, what did we want to tell you about the Australian accent? Well, these two, Fisk and Chernenko, are Australian, and they're metaphysical detectives, which means they'll solve mysteries for you using principles of metaphysics that might include like I don't know. We're not going to get into it. Okay, and we also wanted to talk about Australian because, okay, yes, we're going to moving along. Okay, it's not only cheap, it's tawdry. Moving on. Okay, I don't know what to tell you about this particular hat. It's called like, it's a kind of that. Yeah. Okay, this has been another episode of On the Dark Side. I'm here as a representative of this. No, I'm not. Okay, we're going to never end and push forward. I'm pushing on, and please tune in later.